always.
How have you been, girl? It's been forever.
I know, it's been forever. I've been wonderful. I really can't complain. I mean, I'll complain, but I've been good. It's
That's
so good to see you.
It's
I feel
nice
like
to
it's
see
been
you.
high school, literally. It might have been like over a decade.
I think so,
Like,
but we definitely kept in touch over social media,
Yeah.
commenting on each other's statuses and stuff. So
But,
it's like
seeing you, like my
yeah,
eyes on you,
I
like,
know.
And you look good, like really
Well,
good.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
So do you.
Thank you.
So I always like to ask my moms before we get into the interview to share with us a little bit about yourself, who you are as an individual outside of being a mother and what you do.
Yes. Oh, it's my turn now.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Toniseniior. I have been in the Navy doing medicine for 11 years. So I'm a Navy vet. I'm a real estate investor, consultant, and agent. I am an author. I write on a movie series, The R. Coming up soon, you guys. It's so good. I can't wait for you guys to be introduced into that.
Yes.
What do I do? I'm a vet. I'm a healer. I make my own hair oil, Canalita.
Okay.
Because I lost my edges of postpartum. I'm also a doula, both birth and postpartum doula. So
oh my
those
God.
are the things that I do outside of
I'm like so shocked. You are doing the damn thing. How are you able to keep up with all of this and be a mom and a wife?
Yeah. I think it's just about like pacing yourself. So for me, everything I do is an extension of who I am.
Okay.
So it does sound like a lot, like when I say it, but it really is like it's all the things that I like to do, and I just had the courage to just do it in a professional. I always just measure myself at a professional level of the things that I love to do. So I just a little bit of a workaholic.
That's a workaholic.
Professional-aholic, because I might not be working. Okay, like I might be like I'm not working, but I still have a level of professionalism. So it adds that to it.
I do see you on Instagram having fun. Like you like to celebrate your accomplishments, and I love that about you because I'm like, look at her, she gonna have fun no matter what.
That's for sure. Definitely, I'm gonna have me some fun. So
that's wonderful. So how old is your daughter?
She'll be 3 for 20.
Oh, so she's going out of the terrible twos.
Yeah.
How was your experience being pregnant and having your daughter?
Yeah.
Being old, how old were you when you first had her?
27.
You were 27. Yes, you were like maturing, like you were really maturing in your ages. So how was it having a child at 27?
I loved it. I would say I got to be at home. It happened to be during COVID. And it happened to be I got pregnant the year that my brother was murdered. My brother was murdered by a serial killer. It's kind of crazy.
I'm sorry.
We're actually still going to the trial is actually this summer.
Wow.
So 4 years later, but that was 2020. But it was like I was healing and like I was dealing with that, and I was grateful to be alive. I was at home. I was grateful to be able to. I was transitioning out of the military, with all of those things. So I was able to just kind of love on myself, take care of myself, eat well. So I had a great pregnancy. I was taken care of. My husband was taking care of me. I was good.
That's good.
I had a great pregnancy. And, I had a natural birth. I had her vaginally. And it was just good. It was.
That's good because you offer a different perspective for our show, because most of the women that come on, they're single moms, but you are married.
Right.
And so your experience is really different. So it can teach women, okay, should I wait till I'm married to have a kid? Or should I...
Right. Yeah. No, for real. And again, with me, I'm currently separated. So I'm in the process of divorcing, but I'm gonna be married again, honey, because I was a wife before I became a wife. Okay, so I'm still
going to be single long. I know that's right.
I'm gonna have the same perspective. This ring is, look, I bought this for myself. I ain't gonna hold y'all, right?
You are funny.
No, I'm serious. Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely the perspective of he's a great father.
That's good.
And I had support. I really did, and I'll never discount that. And
oh my God.
And I still recognize like they have a whole different journey into fatherhood. We have a whole different journey into motherhood. And together it's parenthood, but it is not the same. Parenthood definitely has fatherhood over there and motherhood. And if you have to do both, just trying to do motherhood alone and womanhood, that's one of the things that I'm really big on. womanhood.
Womanhood.
That's
yes.
an initiation.
Right. Sticking together. Because so many times we tear each other down and we don't even know each other's story. Because, you know, like I said, you get on here and you could inspire another woman to be like, oh, well, I want to wait. I want to be like Toni and wait. Get married.
Yes.
First.
Please do. So you could get some help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Any woman that tell you that they wouldn't appreciate it is lying.
I know. That was actually going to be one of my next questions. But do you feel like your childhood played a big part in where you are today? Like your mom raising you, was she a single mom, or did you grow up in the house with two parents?
So my mom and my dad separated when I was like 8. Like I was like in the second grade. They wasn't married. My mom has 4 baby fathers. Okay. I'm the last of 5 kids. So, no, they weren't together. Like I did get to see a little bit of a stable foundation up until 8. And then my dad lived in New York and we moved here to Virginia.
Yes.
And when we moved here, we lived in the shelters. We lived in the projects. I went to all the elementaries, Beulah, Clock Springs,
Armstrong.
Then went to MLK, then high school.
Yeah.
So my upbringing, like, yes, I had a father figure and I had my brothers, but that didn't teach me to be a wife or any of that. Like I still had to date, you know, and I was like, you know what, I like dating. I like being in a relationship. I like men. So I like boys at that time. You know, I like boys. And so that was more not child, it was really teenagehood and having a safe and comfortable like dating.
Yes.
That I feel like was more instrumental to me being a wife and a mother than it was like seeing my parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is probably still a different perspective.
It is.
Right?
It is. It's a totally different perspective because although you grew up kind of how we did, like you changed the whole narrative for your life. Yeah. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because you're on a whole different journey. Yeah. Of 5 kids. Your mom was a single mom of 5 kids. Do you feel like you got the nurturing and the love that you yearned for as a child, being the 5th kid?
No, I don't feel like I got it. Now, I could be honest and say that I had it in ways, and I'm appreciative of what I did get, because it wasn't like I was abandoned, but I still had to deal with abandonment issues being the last, because my siblings were older. They made sure that I was protected, and that you know, when there wasn't no food in the house, it was like, all right, we're gonna make sure you eat. Bring you something home to eat. But my mom worked very hard, so she wasn't at home, and that's something that as a woman I had to come to terms and have a conversation with her about, and she apologized, and we healed in womanhood together.
That's beautiful.
But I don't know, I felt like I didn't get the support I needed. People neglected me, they abandoned me, and I had to heal through my attachment issues, my abandonment issues, and I had to do the work.
Wow. That is wonderful, because there are a lot of people struggling now with trying to do that work and trying to fix themselves and dealing with detachment from men, to, you know, and for you to look so good and doing it.
I'm doing that work, baby.
It's like
every day.
She said, I'm doing that work.
You got to. It's gonna work you.
That is so true. That is so true. It is. When did you have time to kind of like do that in your childhood? Did you get tired of feeling that way?
The abandonment and the neglect. I don't think I had much time in my childhood. So teenage years, I'll be honest, I was smoking on some weed and I was drinking some liquor, and that's just the truth. Okay, I was not, you know what I mean? Like, did I go to school? Yes. Did I make sure that I was an EMT before I graduated high school, and I was signed up for the military at 17. So I knew where I was going next, but in the between time, no, I wasn't doing none of that work. I was wilding out. My recruiter was like, listen, you need to make sure that you don't smoke. Stop. Like, I'm like, man, all right, I'll make sure I'm good. Like, you know, so no, I wasn't doing the work. And then I came into when I did join the military, I got more structure and discipline in my life, and I had to like adjust to that. Right. And that's when I started doing the work then. And then, you know, coming into marriage at a younger age, like 21, that marriage provided a structure within itself. So I had to do work within that. So everything just required work. Every step. It just was like different levels of work, you know, like being to work on time so that I could be here 30 minutes early. You're like, I'm like, yeah, girl, you know.
Yes, she literally pulled up early. I appreciate her for that.
I can't even help it. Sometimes I'll be late though. I ain't gonna lie. But
it's okay. We're human.
Yes, but no, I don't feel like I got to really do. There's no break. Right. It's like at every moment, at the moment that you are aware that something is bothering you and you want to change it and you want to be better, that's where it starts.
Yes.
That's it.
I agree. I totally agree. So it's safe to say that you and your mom has fixed the relationship. You have a good relationship with her now?
Yes.
What about your dad?
Same.
Okay.
I did the work, yeah.
Okay. He's in the picture?
Yeah, we our healing was one moment where I was, him and I were talking and I was just like, you just didn't do enough for us. You just didn't. And he was like, I did the best I could. And I was like, yeah, best wasn't enough. And he was like, well, damn it, that's all I had. And we just bust out laughing. And that was the healing. It was like, well, damn. How can I be mad at him if that was all he could? If this is the best I have today that I'm giving you, and that's not enough, what else could I do? So it really hit me like, and I recognize that we see our parents as mommy and daddy for a very long time. And then you come into the point of seeing them as man and woman. Right. And that's where the grace comes in, and that's where the healing started. So
that's beautiful. I've been really connecting with women that have been seeing and understanding like, okay, my parents really did do the best they could, and I kind of see why I got knocked upside my head a couple of times as a kid. Absolutely. So it's beautiful when we can recognize that and take accountability versus blaming, because it gets us nowhere, and it definitely hinders our growth. So I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. I'm still working on it. I'm still working.
All right. So I did have this question I wanted to ask you. So your daughter, she's definitely a beautiful little girl. She gets it from her mom. Was your plan to wait until marriage to have a child, or it just worked out that way?
Wait until marriage. So I was on birth control.
Okay. The cheat code.
Listen, the cheat code, not gonna lie. Because I was young, I was in the military and I was dating and I was like, I need to. Okay. And then when I see my best friend get pregnant, I was like, baby? Oh God. So it was like a wake-up call. Absolutely. And I just knew I wasn't ready. I knew I wasn't ready. And so I was like, okay. I had the cheat code birth control. Yes. Okay. I was like, and my mom worked at Planned Parenthood when I was like in junior high school, stuff like that. And I remember being at MLK and seeing somebody pregnant and I'm like, oh my God, like I don't even know. So I just was aware, and I had older brothers, so I was just like a little aware of like, that's something I'm not ready for. I just thought I was grown. I'm driving. I'm 18. I got my own car. I knew I wasn't ready for that, and so I didn't think I was ready for marriage either. But when I was like, okay, so we'll wait to see. Now it felt a little like a safer time to have a kid whenever, because now it felt like that would be a decision I don't have to make alone or be afraid of. So even throughout the marriage, like I would birth control and then not birth control and stuff like that. So, okay,
that's good. Well, I'm glad you felt the need to protect yourself because you knew you weren't ready. Because there are a lot of women. I actually got off birth control so I can be more responsible. Because sometimes it does make you a little bit more immature because you're protected. Yes. But it does. It does. And I was like, hold on, I'm being a little bit too irresponsible. Let me pipe it down. So, but it's a different perspective for everybody. It's a different journey for everyone. Some people do it because they do need to protect themselves. And then, some of us do it because we want to be natural. Right.
And I definitely, I was off of birth control for, I would say like 4 years in my marriage before we got pregnant, because learning to be responsible, learning myself, all of those birth controls and hormones, it's a lot. It is. And you're at a certain point when you're at a certain point in your life, age matters. Yes. Your body starts to react a certain way as you're developing. And so when I hit that 24, 25 age, it was like really like 24. I was like, whoa, like I don't like the way this is making my body feel. So I stopped it. And for 3 years, I didn't get pregnant because I was learning how to be responsible and deal with your ovulation cycles and be more healthful, take care of your womb, make sure your cycles are regular, eat right. Yeah. And that's important.
It is.
As women. Yeah. Our wombhood.
Absolutely.
We need to take care of it. And birth control is great, when you're young and immature. And once that's when you got to make a different decision. Sure.
I agree. And just keeping your pH on float as well, because I had to share a lot of knowledge around that. Because, a lot of women.
It throws your pH
It
off.
does.
I don't like it.
Does.
I'm like, if I'm stepping into the single thing, with the separation, I'm like,
You want to feel fresh. You want to be clean. Yeah, it's tragic.
Yeah. We were married for 8 years.
8 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you did mention that y'all are being in the midst of getting separated.
Oh, we're separated. Yeah.
Oh, you're separated now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What caused that?
Trust.
Yeah.
Okay. We grew up together. Again, 8 years getting married. We grew up together, and sometimes trust is broken down.
Okay.
And you have to do the work to repair it.
Yes.
And when one person decides that they're not going to do the work, that's when it goes. When both people decide, that's when it goes. If you 1 foot in, 1 foot out, it goes. So, I just think I had to make a decision like, all right, let's just separate, because I would rather love you than to trust you. And I didn't want to be bitter and resentful. And then I start doing shit, and I'm like, now I'm responsible for everything I do. And if I could blame, or don't hold accountability, I'm not going to look myself in the mirror and be like, no, you did this and you did that. I'm going to be like, well, I only did this because you did this. So it was just like, all right, we're growing up. It was so painful. It felt like grief. I had to go through all of that, but I just feel like that's better than hurting him and hurting myself, because I'm trying to be, so
absolutely.
Yeah.
How did that affect like your daughter in the middle of that? Like, what type of challenges did you have around that area?
Yeah. So for the first 2.5 years with her, I was at home. We were at home. So she grew up in a household. We had a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,000 square foot home.
Wow.
We were good. And so when I made the decision to move back to Richmond, I uprooted my family, but thankfully I came into another loving home with my best friend and her husband, my god kids. So I'm like, hey, Bess, I'm here. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. She like, all right, we're gonna have to make this work, And so I feel like just being conscious of like, all right, I'm prioritizing my daughter's needs. She needs family. She was ready to socialize. She was 2.5. She's speaking. She's ready to talk. She wants to play. She's very active. So I just tried to make sure that I maintained a home and family aspect, which is part of why I wanted to come back anyway. Like, let's go back home. Both of our families are here. So she's closer to his side of the family, my side of the family. So I think I don't even think she really even recognizes. Like,
because she's so young.
Yeah, because she's so young. So it's just like, and she's with him now. Like, I think she enjoys that we separated, because she like, she get to do certain things here, there. She playing us.
Wow. She too and got it down.
Yeah, he gotta call me and be like, this happened. I'm like, yeah, she be doing that. Oh, she do this. Oh, okay. Like, we gotta check in, because she's yeah, I think she all right.
So right now y'all co-parenting. So is he still in Texas?
No, he's here now.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So how is co-parenting? Because you did mention that y'all have a great relationship, which is beautiful. So it makes it more easier to co-parent.
Yeah. It took work. It took having a very real conversation. Like, well, how long you expect it? How you gonna have her? When you gonna have her? Are you gonna bring her apple juice, or you gonna get her cup? Do I need to have clothes at your house? Do you got this? Are you expecting me to pack these? It takes a lot of talking. People say communication. Like, you get tired of talking about the smallest things, but it takes a lot of that. Like, so she didn't eat today, and I didn't feel like going to get it. You got her if I drop her off? Hey, I know this is not my day. I know it's not your day, but I got something to do. Can you hold her down? Can you, it takes a lot of vulnerability.
It does.
It does.
It does. Being open, being real. Because if you're not, it's like, again, it breaks the trust. Yeah, because you can't trust a person that's not being vulnerable, because you don't know what they're thinking.
You don't.
Yeah. So it's good that both of y'all are able to communicate in positive ways to get what you have to say off your chest or across your mind. So that's beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm happy. Like, even though y'all are getting a divorce, it's like, it's still positive.
Yeah.
It's still love there.
That's a priority for me in all my relationships. Friendships, I have to love you. The minute that I feel like it's getting a little bitter, a little envious, okay, we can separate. I don't want us to stay around and you feel the way I feel. I'd rather live in love in all avenues of my life, whether it's friends, family, love, like relationship. So all the love matters to me. It matters. I'm a loving person, and I want to stay that way, because when I get on demon time.
And what's your zodiac sign?
Capricorn.
Oh, yes.
Exactly. Ain't it the devil? Girl, don't you know it? You know them readings like I know them
Right,
readings.
exactly. So is parenting your daughter with an active, co-parenting now, a better experience? I think we kind of touched based on that, basically saying because, the situation does bring a different perspective when there is a man in the household. How important was that for you, knowing, just growing up and like, dang, I want a husband, I want to have to raise my child, and how important was that for you
to have a man in the household or
to just be married first?
Okay, very, because for me as a young woman, I didn't recognize it, but I came to understand that invisible hand of protection that I had of having brothers. Okay. Growing up in the hood, growing up in Fair Hills, I lived in one of the worst buildings. So just walking in with all those men just looking at you, that's predators, like, my brother, knowing that, that's such and such your little sister, like that was protection. Okay. And I grew up to see Kate, like I would make my brother plates and stuff like that, and we would, my mom would do laundry, and sometimes you don't dry it, so we have to come home, we hang it up on the racks. I used to set the racks up. Yeah,
oh yeah,
I used to have to do that. So I reckon, and then them coming home, hungry at after school. My mom don't get off work yet, nothing's cooked, there's no dinner, I don't know how to cook just yet, and my brother coming home with like, I got some pizza, like that those type of things I recognized. We had a real bad hurricane out here. It had to be like 2005 or something like that. It was bad, like to where all the power was out, and like my brothers would go out and like have to get stuff for us. And so I always loved a boy or a man in my life because I had older brothers. When I was young, my name was Toni, and I'd get picked on like, oh, your name, you got a boy name. My brother, who's close to my age, would beat up a boy for me. Like, I'm talking to my sister like that. So for me, the protection, the provision, the structure, like my brother would be like, stop wearing them leggings outside all the time. Put some real clothes on. Get dressed up. And I'm like, all right, but it molded me. And so it was super important. I recognize the value in that as the woman, even today. Like, I need a man. I'm never gonna be one of them women.
I need a man. I know that's right.
I don't need a man to make me a better woman. I think that's what the womanhood is for. Okay. I think the womanhood, we need each other to be like, girl. Yes. That pH, like we talked about. We need that because they don't know anything about that, but they do know about the world. And they can perceive us. And they can help us be the best versions of ourselves if we know what we want. They can be like, well, this is how that matches up out in the world that I'm out fighting against every day. So
girl, if femininity was a person, it would be you. I love your perspective on being open. I want a man, I need a man, and it's not for this, but it's for this. And that's beautiful, because we have a lot of women running around saying they don't need a man, but here you are, you had these men in your life, and they helped you realize how important it is to have a man in the household. So that's wonderful.
And I have friends that did not, and it looked very different. It looked very different. I had friends that just was all girls in their home, or just their mother and single mother, and all the men coming and going, and they felt comfort at my house. Like, at least your brothers are there. And it's just like, I love that my brothers were able to provide that level of protection for them too. So it's community. It's not just, I mean, my man is my man. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, like, they all are
right.
They ain't all for y'all know.
Did your brothers ever beat up any of your boyfriends?
Girl,
is that a whole nother story?
Oh my God. And then it was the one that I really had a crush on, and he stopped talking to me, and I was like, why? He don't talk to me. Rest in peace. He's
oh my God.
Now. But I was like, this boy don't talk to me no more. Then my brother came and was like, yeah, I know that little boy. I know you like him. I said, what were you talking about? He was like, yeah, Pudgy, I know you like him. I said, what you talking about? He was like, yeah, I told him whatever he do to you, I'm going to do to him.
Wow. Yeah. It's a threat.
Girl, that boy ain't talk to me no more.
I don't blame him.
I was so sad. I liked him
He
so
knew
much.
It was a lot of y'all. Yeah. They were deep. Y'all were deep.
But I loved him.
Yeah.
In my mind, you young. You're like, I love him though. I'm writing poems. I always been a writer. I used to write poems and stuff.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Girl, he would have been the worst thing for me. Rest in peace. He was a good man, but he would have been a good man for me.
No, seriously.
So, my brother knew.
We really have to be selective of who we allow in our space and our time these days, because we would literally, the mind would deceive us and thinking, oh, that's my man.
Yes.
Whole time is not.
Whole time is not. I be delusional. That's my man.
Yeah.
We're going to be married. We're going to be together. We're going to have kids, babies.
Right.
Delusional, like, girl.
So I did want to ask you, do you want any more kids?
I do.
When you get married again?
Yeah.
I loved her. We can do it over again.
We sure can, baby. We can start a fresh start if he out there looking.
Was there a reason why you and your last husband only had one?
Well, first, me and my best friend, we joke about it, but it's serious. This is like 2 year, like that first 2 years postpartum is like the trenches for any marriage or relationship. And I think a lot of relationships fall apart in that time frame. Yes. Like we made it out of that, but you know, what happens in that time frame? Sometimes you can't come out of it. Right? You got to start over. Yes. But I think that was part of it. Yeah. That 2 year trenches is the trenches. And then also just when we got married young, we enjoyed each other first. So we did travel, you know, we went to Thailand and rode the elephants and pet tigers together. Aww. Like we romanced, we dated each other. Like we got to explore each other. So we had so much time, like 5 years of just like of us just being selfishly with each other and loving each other.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, we was like, we ain't have no kids yet. We just live our life, and we was young. We was, you know,
and y'all got to really experience one another, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. Do you think there's any room to work it out?
I mean, I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Hey, it is what it is.
You know, it's like I think at one point I wanted to, and you know, you go through all the grief of like, oh, I'm breaking up my family and all that. Then I'm just like, I don't want to no more. Yeah. I'd rather love you, and I don't trust you, and I don't want to do the work. I don't want to do the work. I have to admit it. I'm ready to start over. I don't feel like I'm the same person anymore. Yes. And we went through a separation period. Yeah. You know, it was a time where he was in Dallas and I was here for months, and I had to be, you know, me and my daughter by myself. I would cry. I'm like, damn, I'm really breaking this up, and this is what this looks like being a single mom, because he still had to get everything together there, and I was like,
I mean, hey, you want what you want, and it is what it is.
Yeah, and you got to own it. Yes, so that you can release that person.
This is your truth.
Yes, it is, so that you can release that person too. Like, because it would be unfair for me to be like, I know you're a good man, so I'm gonna keep you tethered and all that. Like, no, he's a great man. He's gonna be a great husband to another woman, and she gotta be good. I need her to be on point too, because my daughter's gonna be looking to emulate, and so I'm like, yes, I want her to be. I pray for her too. I'll be like, God, let her be beautiful. Make sure she keeps herself up. Make sure she's kind. Make sure she's caring. Pray for her too, because my daughter needs somebody. She be over there 5 days a week. Hey, I want her to have a loving home. So I don't want to work it.
It's the growth for me, because it's like, okay, yes, I'm gonna release you to my husband, my old husband, but I want the best for y'all in the midst. But,
for sure.
Yeah, because you have a lot of people that's like, oh no, I want him and the man that I'm ready to be with.
Yeah. Well, now I'm like, with a clean slate, it might be 2 men this time. 2 new ones. Not the old. No.
I know that's right.
So I'm feeling girls. They be like, wait, y'all said 2 men? I don't know, because all these relationships are poly. I'm like, hold on now.
Is that something you would be open to?
I don't think I'll be open to sharing my man.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. I ain't gonna hurt you. I'll be like, and then I also ain't mean a man that could give me everything I needed. And you got something for another person? Yeah. I mean, maybe if I seen that in real life, I would be open to it. Like, oh, he could do all of that and that. Maybe he do deserve that. Yeah. But I ain't seen it in real life.
That's what I'm saying. They don't deserve not even me.
I ain't seen it in real life. Like, if that's somebody else's reality and that's what's real, then to each his own. But I have not in real life seen that.
Okay.
You know?
Me neither.
It's not enough.
It's a social media thing. So it's like, it's like we get so consumed in what we see on social media that we can't tell if it's real or if it's fake.
Or if it's like just something that's exception to a rule. Like, that's the exception to the rule. That's the anomaly. That's not the general minority. I mean, the general majority of relationships. So, or what you're going to encounter 9 times out of 10, I'm going to meet a man that only wants me.
Exactly.
It might be 1% of y'all that think that y'all gonna be. You ain't gonna want nobody else.
You're not. And honestly, because I've actually asked a lot of men this, and they say they prefer one woman because they think that it would be a headache trying to have two.
Really?
And it's like, okay, a lot of men don't want this. So what really is going on with this? So, and you have to be really secure within yourself to want to share your husband with another woman, because I seen in different cultures that he would stay with her for a week, then for the other week he would be with the other woman,
right?
And she's just explaining like, oh yeah, while he's with her, I'm just living my life, I'm doing me. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, and I could understand that too, because I do think you have to be secure, and that's something that you grow into as a woman. I don't know if we all come out so secure, like just off the rail. We might act like it, but we all go through that.
We have to do the work.
Cheated. You have to do the work. You have to do the work to get to that level of security. So I personally, and again, I could see it if, again, I have my own village, my own legacy, my own family. We got our family home. My farm. I got things I want. So if you can provide all of that, and then be able to do that for her as well, because we ain't sharing that. That ain't both of our legacy. I look at it like some people are wives, some people are queens. I'm a queen. I eat, the whole community eats. A wife, you know what I mean? The household eats. She takes care of her household, and I've been a wife, so I'm not downplay on that. She
take care of the village.
You feel me? It's different. It really is. When I eat, we all eat. When you're eating, I'm eating. We're eating together. You're a queen. Yes. I'm sorry.
I know that's right.
It's different. So no knocking it. I'm just saying.
I know that is right. So I did have a little question that may be a little touchy, but you just let me know if you feel comfortable answering or not. So we know that you mentioned that your brother got murdered a few years ago. Do you see parts of him in your daughter?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Just what like parts? Goofy, silly, childlike fun. Not too long before my brother was murdered, he texted me a picture of a baby like hanging out the swing like this, and he was like, "Don't let me babysit your child." This was before I got pregnant and everything. So he's like, "This is how it's gonna be," and I see her joy, that spark that she had, and he was so social, and she's like that too. So I see it in her, and it makes me excited because I know he's covering us. I know he's with us, and I get little messages from him all the time. I see the Blue Jays all the time. I see music that comes and reminds me of him. I'm like, and she's so musical, like she loves to dance and sing, and he loves that too. So it's just like, okay, guys, it's not so bad down here. This is hell. So
oh, that's wonderful that he brings, and he is part of her. To be honest, he's definitely part of her, because you had her before, after he was murdered, correct? Yeah. So I do feel like his energy is living in her. And that's beautiful. You get the best of both worlds. You get your brother and your daughter in one human form.
It is. And I'll tell you, you have to accept it, because you're not going to be able to see it materialize if you're looking for his spirit in him, and his fit in his. You have to believe it.
Yes.
I mean, and I ain't going to lie, I went through some crazy spiritual stuff to where I'm like, I know what I saw. All right, I believe it now. No more times, guys. Don't send me no more that day of Among Us, okay? Because I might lose my mind.
Yes, right. Be easy on us.
Please.
What are some challenges you feel like you face being a mom?
Yeah. One of the things I would say being a mom is, again, balancing womanhood and momhood.
Yes.
Just understanding that my daughter came through me. She didn't just come from me.
Right.
Just like I didn't just come from my mom. I came through her, and she came through and through and through. And we keep being portals for each other.
Yes.
And when I don't have that level of like control and claim, this is my child, this is my daughter, I look at her like she's here for her own purpose. That means it's a reminder that I'm here for my own purpose too. Yes. That is separate from her. So separating who I am from, who we are together. I mean, both of us are Toni. My daughter's a junior. I named her after me. So that's why her name is TJ.
Why somebody, hold on. I literally had a conversation with somebody that day. He was like, why the mom never named the daughter after them? And what would it mean? So she's a
junior. Yeah,
she's a junior.
Yeah,
so even if you name your daughter after you, she still would be like a junior. And wow, I did not know that.
On her birth certificate, yeah, I put the second, but yeah, it's not just masculine. And I actually had this book called Queens of Egypt, and a lot of queens in Egyptian culture named their daughters after each other. It was a practice that was not outdated. Queen Elizabeth, like in European culture, she's named after her mom. It's not really. It's just something that we may have lost in the transatlantic
exactly
trade and things like that.
We don't do enough work to know these things because we're distracted. So for you to be able to share that knowledge is beautiful. Yes, educate them, queen.
Oh yeah. Look, you got to do it. But yeah, I think that. And then my middle name is my grandmother's name. So my father instilled that in me and passed that down to me, and I didn't have as much value into it and being aware of it where we grew up. We came from. But in womanhood, for me, I see like, okay, I passed down, I'm passing through, and I still have my purpose to fulfill. And it's separate from her. It really is. She's her own person, and that's difficult because I deal with mom guilt a lot, So for me, I'm feeling like, am I doing enough? Am I attentive enough? Am I giving her enough time? I'm always reaching out to my moms that have been doing this for years. Like, yo, how you handling this? How did you handle it? Because I watch y'all and I'm so inspired because I know you've made it through so much.
Oh my God.
Yes. And I'm inspired by you as well. So that's a challenge. Just making sure that I stay inspired to be on my purpose. And that's separate from everybody else in the world, even the child that I pushed out myself. So it's a challenge. It's like,
gotta love you. You're just so different.
I don't care what I gotta be. We all are. I don't want to be like nobody else.
No, for real.
I'm alone in my room. It's just me. It's nobody else. So I want to always make sure I'm just authentically me, and that's separate from motherhood and separate from what anybody could think a wife's supposed to be, a mother's supposed to be. Don't think that. Get to know me first. Don't put me in the category. Sure.
I love that you're so open-minded when it comes to, your experiences and your motherhood and where you grew up at and how you parent your journey, your daughter actually on your journey. Do you have any regrets? Like you wish you would have done something different or more, or, because for some moms, they feel like they don't have the time that they want to dedicate to their kids. For some moms, every mom's looks different. Do you feel like do you feel like you have any regrets or decisions that you would like to change now while your daughter is at the age that she is?
I would definitely say no regrets. I don't have regrets. I've made so many mistakes. I've made so many mistakes, and I just dealt with all the shame, the guilt, perceived embarrassment and judgment. But I can't say it's a regret because I would not have been. It just develops a level of confidence and self-awareness and also connection that we're still human, because I can look and see somebody that made that same mistake and would have that same regret. So I don't have that because I give myself grace, and I get a lot. I pray for it. I'll be like, God, I fucked up, right? You still with me? Okay.
You still with me?
Every day.
Hello.
Please don't leave me, because I don't want to. Listen. So I don't have regrets. I definitely just know, for me, I'm at a very sensitive time in my life and in her life, because she's not at school age yet. She's 3, so I still got a couple years before it's the institutional things. And so I'm like, do I homeschool? Do I keep her out of school? Do I this, that? Because I can't be at home and work at home. I don't work well from home. I have an office downtown. On the 10th floor, Main Street. If y'all want a glam session or y'all want to come see me and chat with me. But I can't work in the house. So I'm like, I have to be very aware now. So I don't have any regrets about decisions that I would have made, because I look at it like I can't go back. But I'm always constantly like balancing the anxiety of like, how do I make sure that every day I'm moving
Yes.
forward? Every
Yes.
day I'm doing something a little bit towards the life. So I'm just figuring it out.
Yes.
I don't even have time to be thinking about
the past, right?
I really don't. I don't have it in me. I apologize to whoever I may have, because I be saying
and you move
stuff.
On.
I say stuff, I do stuff. I'll be like, if you don't forgive me, you want to fight about it? Because if you don't want to fight about it, then we ain't beefing, and I love you. That's it.
Right,
So I don't have, and I can't fight myself. I gotta wake up every day. So I gotta love who I am, and so I would just definitely, with that regret word, is to say it comes shame, it comes guilt. Yes. It comes embarrassment. It comes. We gonna have that. I would rather deal with that than the situation itself, because it's really those emotions that consume us longer than that situation. That situation or that mistake you made. Right. But all of those things that come from that is what I feel like I had to work so much. Harder on than like accepting the situation. Yes. I'll tell somebody and they'll be like, "That's no big deal," and you're like, but I still feel like it is. So I just, for me as a mom, again, I had to deal with, am I breaking up my family? So do I know myself well enough to go into another situation and not break up a family again? Like, I'm over I have those forward looking moves. Like, am I moving the right way? So
just making sure you're on the right path. Right.
That's more of my thing. I'm looking forward, like, is that right for me? At every time, more so the regret, because I'll be moving. I'm gonna keep on moving. I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna keep on moving.
I know that's right. Nothing's gonna hold you back. You're gonna you're gonna continue to move forward.
I want to fail forward.
And that's beautiful. That's a beautiful inspiration for women, because you are very inspiring, just to hear you, and you have a lot more to do and to learn as a mother, because she's only 3. You got to go into the teen years and preteen. So you have a lot.
I need you. You locked in. I'm like, it's happening. Remember you told me? I feel like I wouldn't be the mother that I am today if it wasn't for the women that came before me. My best friends, my close friends who have teenage daughters or admitted, they have told me things and I've listened. That's the only way I felt like my problems wasn't so big. They're very important, but anything I'm failing at as a mother, I feel like I am. I don't hold it as so big because I'm listening to my. They might be, feel like they in the same boat as me, but I'm like, no, I'm learning from you. So I be calling like, am I doing a good job? Because it's just getting started, right? Like you like, this ain't really hit. Like, it's going.
It really is just starting.
It is.
Did you have to go through those terrible twos with your daughter?
And I would say yes, because I understand why they call it the terrible twos. So, but I would say I was prepared. Okay. I was prepared because I asked a lot of questions. I did the therapy. I was, again, going through therapy for healing one thing, end up therapy for something else. So I'm like, okay. And my therapist happened to be like a child. She loved doing mothering and parenting classes. So I'm like, all right, sign me up for that too. So I did the work of educating myself of things. So I see why they're terrible twos, but I just didn't allow me to go and be a 2-year-old. Like, I look at her and be like, you're gonna do what I say. Like, I assert myself. So
that Navy mentality.
I don't play it too much. I do play.
Yes.
We have a good time. I give her time to just be herself, so that and I have that time. Okay. I've served, I've given a lot, I've sacrificed being away from home, being away from family, being away for years. People be like, I ain't seen you forever. Yeah, because I've been on a ship. I've been in jail. I've been away. Like, I've been missing family.
Tell us the truth. Been in jail.
That's what it's like. And I gave that up so that I could have that time. So I sacrificed early to have where I'm at now. And I sacrificed a lot to be in that position. So I'm grateful that I have time for her to be terrible. Yeah. And it's just us. I'm like, she was being wild. And now I know, okay, my child, she is okay. But I teach her how to emote. She knows her emotions. Are you sad? Yeah. Are you angry? Are you upset? So now I'm identifying that. She identifies them in me. So I always am like, okay, I am angry today. And I tell her, you're frustrating me. You're being very annoying. And she's like, I'm being annoyed. Yes, you're being annoying. Like, we're not arguing, but we're very much, I am going to say that you're being annoying and you're being rude. And I'm going to say that to her just like that. So I might not get on her level and scream at her, yell at her, like, you get on my nerves. But I'm gonna tell you,
communicate
like, you're
with her.
Don't talk to me anymore. You've lost your privilege to talk to me because you just threw something in this car. What makes you think that's acceptable? Like, I be having some conversations because they will wild out.
Because they understand, and we think we got to have this goo goo gaga baby talk with them. No, they understand real communication. Yes. And the more you communicate with her, the more you communicate with her in that way, the more she's going to understand, like, oh, yeah, my mama mad. So, but I'm mad too, Mom.
Yeah, and I'll be like, well, let's both be mad, but this is how I'm going to be mad. I'm not going to say anything else to you. I have nothing else to say. Do you need anything? You have your water, you have your chips, you have your juice. Let me be inside. I will have that conversation where I do. So that's the only way to get through it.
That's good.
Literally, because I'll be like, no, CJ, no, not right now. Maybe later. Like I keep that as an open mind. But no, she gets on my nerves. We get on each other's nerves. That's what I'm learning.
Yes.
I'm sure that happens for the rest of it.
As a mom with a teenager, absolutely.
It starts so early and it don't end.
It never. It never ends. Now, when you got pregnant, did you feel like you were ready? Even at 27, did it feel like you were more ready? Because some of us, and I mentioned this a lot in prior episodes, because some of us all have children at different ages. For me, it was 15.
Yeah.
So to be,
yes.
I know, right? So embarrassed.
and you carried it so well.
Yes.
You really did. You. I would say that. I was there. I don't know about y'all. Let's keep it real.
She was
I don't know
here.
About y'all. I was there. You carried it very well.
Thank you.
Very well.
Thank you.
I don't think we always knew you'd be goofy.
Yeah. But nobody was expecting that, right?
Yeah. I'm like, so it actually didn't have like this moment like embarrassment. It's interesting that you perceive it that way because
I mean at 15 I wouldn't want to flaunt it like it was something to be proud of, especially being so young. So, and plus I was still shy. I was going through my own traumas and stuff. So I definitely was embarrassed.
That is not. I would have never. Listen, you got your own perspective. We be all delusional, baby. Because I'm telling you, you got your own perspective of yourself. Because I would have never gave you that word, shy. I be wanting to be shy so bad too, but you would be like, "You're not." I'm like, "Oh, okay." She was not.
And at school, I know. At school it was different, but at home, it was more so like, I don't know these people like I think I do.
Yeah.
And I'm not myself around them. But at school, I'm myself around these kids because I can open up. I can be goofy. I can be loud. I can be funny.
I'm glad I got to experience you that way then. No. Well, I'm glad I got to experience you that way. I am.
Me too. I'm so grateful that I know you. It's beautiful.
And in a way we want to be known.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that is nice. She might know another version of me because that's what she had to get. Or that's what he had to get. You know
you couldn't get the best of me just yet.
Sorry that you couldn't get the best of me.
Right.
Or a potential, like, I knew you were going to be great. I knew you were going to be great.
Well, thank you. So, you knew that.
Girl, yes. You already, like I said, you had personality. You could speak to people. This is not, you were very social. You could speak to people. Like, you were, like, humble enough. Anybody about to play with you? So even with your rules, like, this is the house rules for the podcast. I'm like, anybody playing with her. She's still gonna make sure. I love it. Like, you know, you were always that. So it's just, again, it was a younger version of it. And like you said, having a child at 15,
it was very different. But likewise, you know, seeing you grew up, I was like, she's going to be a model. A lot of people thought that you were going to be a model. You had the look, you were tall, you know, you were really drawing the attention walking down the hall. We like, look at Toni. She the tallest person in this building. You had it. And I was like, I love her. I love how she carries herself in high school. You know, you were very, you were just so feminine. You know, you were very feminine. Yeah. And we don't see, like, again, we don't see that a lot. We have a lot of women that are masculine now. So you are very feminine. And that is beautiful to see a lady actually being feminine, a queen actually being feminine and thriving in that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. I was just chilling. Yeah, and America's Next Top Model was like really a big thing at that time. Like, it was. So everybody was like, "Are you gonna go try out?" Because I think they had tryouts like nearby, and I was like, "No." I was shy. I was like, "No."
You?
Yes, I was. I was like, "No, I can't do it. I'm shy." I was shy. I probably should have. But it's never too late. Who never knows? Y'all want to put me on the cover?
Hey, you might get discovered on here.
That's what I'm saying. You eat, we eat, I
Facts. If there was one advice that you can give to a mom that's going through the same thing as you when you were going, let's just say when you were going through your postpartum depression, what advice will you give to a mom? Because I know for you, that was like probably one of your biggest challenges because you say you've been in that for 2 years. What advice do you have for a mom that's going through that?
Oh, the best advice that I would have for a mom who's going through it, I think I would say to get help. Get the help.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yes.
Every decision you make from a place of hurt, bitterness, resentfulness, depression, it compounds.
Yes.
Everything. And then you have to learn to forgive yourself for every last thing until you get to that very first starting point. And by then you could have spiraled out a little bit to where you don't even want to see yourself and take accountability for the roles that you play. So you have to get the help because no one knows. No one knows really what you're going through. Like, your men, our husbands, our baby fathers, whoever, they don't have that experience and they'll never understand. That's the second best advice. They will never understand. If you're looking for a man to understand, it's never going to happen. Never. It doesn't mean that he can't empathize and learn to be compassionate, but he's not going to be able to understand. Go talk to your homegirl. That is going to give you some good advice. Who's going to have the positive outlook that wants you to stay in the relationship and thug it out until it's like okay, are you making this decision from a healthy standpoint? Go get you some real people, solid people in your corner that's going to stand and be like,
I think you should not do that right now.
Yeah, not right now, girl, because you're kind of tripping a little bit. Like, what you mean? I mean, you got to get into it. Get you some real help. Some people who really going to keep it real with you and be accountable with you. So if it's not therapy, if it's not, make sure. There was an app called like Peanut. At the time, I didn't really exercise it, but it was like a app from new moms at that time.
Oh, nice.
All these social groups, you in all these Facebook groups, make sure it's something that's positive and uplifting where people are encouraging you to be better, not just helping you point out the flaws in everyone else. So get some real help. Build some real community with people who are trying to stay above the BS.
Oh my God.
It's so easy for you to identify and connect and think, oh, well, I want to help this person. No, you need to help yourself. You need to help yourself. Be accountable.
I agree.
Accountable. So that advice, you're not the first person going through, you're the first person going through your journey. But get the help that you need and be accountable for that.
That's some tough motherly love right there.
And that's how I'm going to give it straight. Straight.
For those who may not know what postpartum depression looks like, could you elaborate a little bit on what it is, what it do to you, and how it affects your day-to-day life? Yes.
So postpartum depression, PPD, and you also see postpartum anxiety as well. So, it can have multiple different symptoms and ways depending on the person, but basically your hormone levels are going from here and they're drastically dropping. And so the chemical imbalance inside of your body is causing you to see things differently. Your brain is shifting from using the left side of the brain to the right side of your brain. Your left side is more analytical. We go mom brain. You forget things and to nurturing, and I can hear a sound or I can tell my baby's sick. And you start to develop these very beautiful gifts. But it's changing the chemical makeup of your body, and you're having it's cognitive dissonance. You're seeing yourself differently from who you are. You think you're still this old version of you, and you're not. You have superpowers now. You can smell, you can feel. You're a lot more sensitive. Like, are you okay? You're like, I'm sorry. You go from being this tough person or to this. What's wrong, girl? I can see it in your eyes. You're like, you can see it in my eyes. Yeah, I know. I can feel it. You're
Yes.
developing these superpowers, but to me, I look at that depression as a moment where you're releasing an old version of yourself. So it feels like grief. It feels like a part of you is dying. It feels like you're confused sometimes. You don't know where your life is. You don't know if you're doing a good job. There's no one telling you you're doing a good job.
Wow.
You need a lot of reassurance. It could look like you don't want to be around people. It could look like you're touched out. Like, don't touch me.
Ooh.
You're scared. Don't make my baby sick. Don't do this. It could look like the house is not clean and you're developing OCD, or you don't feel like cleaning yourself. It has so many different ways that it could show up. And it's just because of that chemical imbalance that we go through so sharply, so drastically. You had all 9 months to kind of build up. And as soon as that baby's out of your body, it's like, and that depression is literally shedding a whole different version of you. You're shedding inside. Your organs are restructuring and finding its new place after being shifted around.
Wow.
It's a lot, you know? So just as women, it's important to know that even something that sounds so simple is like, hey, my stomach is like trying to figure out where it's at now.
Yeah.
It's pushing up against my lungs.
Wow.
Like, it's like, yo, move over. No, I ain't got no room in here either. Like, well, what you want me to do? Like everything inside of you is readjusting. And so you have to connect your body again. It's recentering yourself literally from the inside to the outside world. And it could look like a lot
I
of
didn't
different
even
things.
know that. But I don't think for me.
That's my healthcare. Sorry, y'all, I'm a nerd.
No, it's okay. I don't think for me postpartum depression was like big, you know, especially having a kid at 15. I don't think we made it more fluent for us to learn about it. But now it's like it's a big thing, and I'm just like, okay, maybe I was going through this, and I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So it definitely explains a lot.
Yeah.
It clarifies a lot. So thank you for sharing that knowledge.
Right.
And, you know, letting women know, like, if you do go through this, you need to get help, because it's important to get the help that you're looking for when going through postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a doula. Like I said, I'm a birth and postpartum doula, so I support women getting a doula. I had a doula.
Wow.
And I made it. Again, it became purpose work for me. Like, now I have to make myself available for people. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Yes.
I'm here. But yeah, it's very real. And again, having kids at different ages, that's different. I don't know why we want to act like age and don't matter. 15 body versus 27. Is your knees popping at 15? No. You know what I mean? And life is moving fast. Your brain, your ability for your brain to make us different type of levels of cortisol or oxytocin is different from when you're at 27 or 30. You have to be more aware that you're producing cortisol, which is a stress chemical, versus oxytocin. If you don't know it, it's still your responsibility. Now it's your responsibility for what you don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Ignorance is bliss thing really works sometimes.
It really does. It really does. And we are grateful for you, because you know this stuff and you like dropping mad jewels right now.
Out there doing God's work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
Yes. So on social media, Toniseniior, TONISENIIOR. Okay. So and my website is Toniseniior, TONISR.com. So I'm mostly on Instagram, but you'll find me on Instagram. You'll find me on Facebook. Toniseniior, TONISENIIOR. And you'll see me on there. Instagram, you see me do a little bit of everything. Don't come over there judging.
Well, look, I am so grateful to have you a part of my platform, to share your experience. This was a beautiful interview, and it was so insightful. I've learned a lot from you just sitting here and you opening your mouth. You're so enlightened and you're so inspiring. And I love that about you.
And you are too.
Yes.
I love
Thank you.
Y'all do understand. Thank you for having me. I
absolutely
appreciate it in any way I can support.
Yes.
In front of the camera, behind the camera.
Yes.
I'll mop the bathroom floors.
For you. You are so great, girl. Is there anything else you would like to share?
No, guys, just check out my website. I do glam sessions, guidance, leadership, advice, and mentorship. So if you guys are interested in chatting with me, my website is there. And if you just want to connect, I'm here.
Yeah. Nice. You know where to find her now.